What happens if a situation arises that you were unprepared for? A situation such as a blizzard, a tornado, or being locked down due to a virus. Put yourself in any possible situation that could arise. Now ask yourself, what would you do? Where would you go? What do you need? Are you ready? Because what if tomorrow? Welcome to the What If Tomorrow podcast. I'm Philip.
And I'm Mark.
And we got a fun show, I'll say, tentatively.
I don't know. I may have a stroke on this show,
yeah,
so I mean, that might be fun.
May get a little heated, maybe. I don't know. Not between us, but maybe particular members of our society.
Let the hate mail roll in.
Yeah. No, man, I wanted to get tonight's out of the way because I think we're seeing a lot of what we've talked about. We've talked the Bubba effect before, but I wanted to ask the question, are we seeing the start of the Bubba effect? I'll go more into that here in a second. I want to run through this really quick and just check out our affiliates.
Hey, this is Mark with What If Tomorrow and What If Tomorrow on the Fringe. Be sure to check out our website, whatiftomorrowmedia.com, and look at our cool merch. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, posters, and more. Our affiliates are Duke Cannon, EMP Shield, My Patriot Supply, and Conflicted the Game. Or check out buymeacoffee.com/whatiftomorrow and buy us a coffee. And as always, be sure to like, comment, and share on both Facebook and YouTube. It helps get our content out to others and help our channel grow. Now on with the show.
Absolutely. Hey, Enzo, I love the looking out, man. Enzo says he's going to charge up the defibrillator for you. So
I appreciate it. It's going to be hard for him to give me mouth to mouth from his house.
Yeah, probably so. Hey, I wanted to share with you guys. This is something I've been looking at for a while. And we're just actually talking backstage about it, about picking these guys up as an affiliate. Not yet. If we do, I'll throw up an affiliate link, but we're really going to start digging into it because I'm impressed. But I bought a Jace case. If you guys aren't familiar with this is kind of an emergency preparedness medical kit. Let me get that right up. It's got 5 of the basic antibiotics. And you can add on like this. I can't pronounce most of these, but I've got albuterol for my son who's asthmatic. Let's see, we got prednisone, also Tamivir. That's like your flu medication. A bunch of other stuff. That is the add-on pack. I'm not going to share all of it, but yeah, it's like I said, it's got your guidebook inside on what to use this stuff for. Different. I don't know if you can see, I don't like this camera for this, but it's got all sorts of stuff, man. Like a 30-day supply of meds, which I think it's an amazing thing. The purchasing or the whole process was simple. You fill your information out on Jace Medical. It does, Enzo. It really does have a lot of good stuff in it. Let's see. Let me pull this up real quick so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about here. But Jace Medical, they've got all sorts of stuff. This is your base price for the emergency antibiotics. But in a preparedness situation, you're more likely to die from an infection. Realistically.
Yeah. It's not the gunshot that's going to kill you. It's the infection you get afterwards.
Right. So it's something to seriously think about. What's awesome for me, The whole kit I got, I mean, you saw the price of the base kit here was $269.95. But what's awesome, the add-ons that I added, it averaged, I think it turned out to be like around $500. Okay, that sounds pricey. In some instances,
How
I
much
guess
is your life worth?
right.
How much of the lives of your family worth?
Right. It does. There's a there's a return on it because it's going to help you in the long run. But the process, and I'm not going to go through it because I got to enter my personal information and all that stuff. But you go up here, get started, roll through it. You'll tell them what your medicine allergies are. And this is for one person. Okay. I mean, one is better than none, in reality, but you go through it. I mean, if you want to run down, let's see, we'll run down the Homesteader because that's where I was looking at. They've got, well, yes, Enzo, it will. For the zombie bite kit because it's bioterrorism infections. So yes, it'll cover the zombie bite kits. I want to say 2 or 3 years, Enzo. That's what I want to say. I'd have to go back and look real quick. But the Homesteader case, I mean, it's kind of a little more than what I paid for. It covers sinus infections, pneumonia, urinary tract infection, your bioterrorism infections, Giardia, add-ons. I mean, you can buy acetaminophen like Tylenol. I mean, I'm not a doctor. Don't whatever all this stuff is for pain. You got
to watch with those Latin words. You're going to summon a demon.
I know it. Pepsid, ibuprofen, oseltamivir, triamcinolone or whatever. Hey, you even got herpes. Herpes treatment. So, if you're in that crowd, not that I need to know.
Space herpes?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Just checking.
But I think this, no matter what you spend, and like I said, it cost me about $500. But what was awesome was you are able to use your HSA if you have an HSA. That's what's awesome about it.
It really is.
I mean, it's not a bad thing. My HSA is just building and building and building because we rarely use it. But it's good in this instance to where, hey, this is covered. You're not taking it out of pocket because you've already got that in your account. So I would highly recommend looking into it. And like I said, we are looking into getting these guys as an affiliate to help our show out, in all honesty. But I wanted to buy the product first, know the process of going through it. But when and going back to the process, when you fill your information out, they let you know. I mean, like the albuterol, for my son that has asthma, you click that and they say, why are you requesting this? And I was honest, I said, my son is asthmatic. He's on, I forget the other. Oh, dang it. I just lost it. But anyway, he's on another medication daily.
Ibuprofen bromide?
No, Advair. It's like a powder inhalant. He takes it once a day. And then as needed, if he needs to, he'll take the albuterol inhaler. So I was able to get that. They also have, let me pull this back up again real quick. If you have a daily, a daily prescription. But yeah, they have a daily prescription. Where to go here? Yeah, they have a Jace daily. I don't know what all they offer. I don't know because I'm not on a daily, encounter or a daily prescription. But it'd be worth checking out if you have prescriptions that you need to stock up on. And this isn't just for the end of the world. I mean, yes, it is, but it's for anything. I mean, look at our supply chain.
Yeah.
And how it works right now. Plus, most of these medications, or most medications you get, are not made here in the United States.
No.
So it's a good idea to have something on hand. I've got little kids, I've got, big kids, I've got my wife and I, my wife's got more big kids because of me. But I would definitely recommend at least looking into it.
Yeah, especially if you live up north where, they have the giant snowstorms that snow you in for 2 weeks,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I would definitely look into it.
Heck, they probably do something like that in Alaska all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure. Not only that, but think about this, I mean, the big go-to in the prepper world was like fish biotics and stuff like that, going to the feed store and buying the antibiotics. Well, since COVID, they're cracking down on that and making the vets write a prescription for these antibiotics. So, they don't want people self-medicating themselves. And I understand that. But it's good to have some on hand, and they have the disclaimer, do not use unless it's prescribed by a doctor and all that. But what happens if you don't have access to a doctor? Like you were saying, Mark, up in Alaska or something like that, or you're out in the mid, SHTF happens and you don't have access. It's really something to think about, and I'm not trying to fear monger or anything like that. But like always, I'm trying to be realistic. So definitely, please, if this is something you're interested in, look into it. Like I said, probably by the end of this week, I'm hoping to probably have an affiliate link set up, and we'll throw it up on our Facebook group, the What If Tomorrow podcast group, if you're just listening for the first time or watching for the first time. Yeah, definitely. Please check it out. I would highly recommend it. I had no issues because once you get finished, you give them your email, your your phone number or whatever. And once you're done, if they have any questions, they'll email you, call you, whatever. I don't know the whole prescription side or the daily prescription side. I don't know. But for this, I got an email saying everything checks out. Your package is shipped. And I got it, I don't know, 3 days later, something like that.
That's
It
not
was
bad.
really
That's not a bad response time at all.
no. I mean, it was really streamlined, the whole process, streamlined and easy and accessible. Plus, they have one of these little chat bots down on the bottom if you have any questions or whatever. So, really, definitely, I would highly recommend it. With that being said, I mean, like I said, we're not affiliated with them right now. I mean, you guys do what you choose. If you want to go buy it from the website, great. If you want to wait to see if we have a link, great. I mean, that would help us, but you got to do for you. Let's see. Anyway, so what I wanted to hit on today was the whole Bubba effect thing. If you're not familiar with what the Bubba effect is, and this is a military term, and it's basically, I mean, sums the show up, really, if you think about it, their definition of it. Their term is the country is so divided and nobody trusts the government. Essentially, what it comes down to and the meaning behind it is, let's say a terrorist attack happens, or a real simple example that I heard was somebody is breaking into homes, stealing stuff, all that stuff, right? The police arrest them, they're let right back out. I mean, that's not uncommon to what's going on right now. A lot of these crimes are just being turned back out on the streets. A lot of these criminals are. But eventually, this happens so many times, and the people know who it is. And finally, these guys get caught, not by the cops, but by somebody in the neighborhood, and they're tired of it. And they get rid of them. But then, they're in trouble. The police come, Okay, well, hey, you shot this person or whatever. And then the neighborhood stands up and says, no, you guys have done absolutely nothing. So it's time for us to step up and start protecting ourselves. That's essentially what the Bubba effect is. When the government or the city or whatever isn't really doing their job, so the people are stepping up, pushing them out of the way, saying, fine, you guys aren't going to do your job. We're going to step up and do it. That's why I wanted to raise this question, because of what's going on down on the border in Texas. Are we seeing the effects, or are we starting to see the Bubba effect happen in real time? Right now, there's 25 states that are backing Texas. Half the country is backing Texas. And I would be willing to bet, aside from the state governments, like here in Kansas, I bet the majority of the people in Kansas support Texas.
Absolutely. That's correct.
Right or wrong. You know, there is going to be at least a constitutional confrontation. Sure, the Supreme Court came out last week and said, okay, the government can go in and cut the concertina or the razor wire. But the Supreme Court also didn't say that Texas couldn't put more up. Oh,
Yep.
me too, Enzo. Absolutely. I was disappointed, but not surprised. Yep. And that comes down to our governor. I truly believe that.
Well, she's taking real good care of Johnson County up there. So I
Yep.
mean, that's the whole reason she's.
Oh, I agree. There's a lot of things that should have passed but didn't, because of Sedgwick and Johnson County. But it's something to seriously look at, I think, because of the ramifications of what could happen. You know, I mean, a lot of times on the show, we go kind of worst case scenario. And chances are it's not going to be worst case scenario. That's why I say there's going to be constitutional issues here, because the Supreme Court, that they're Texas, and I heard an interview today. I forgot his name. Hey, Jess, no worries. What was that? Ken Paxton, the Attorney General down in Texas. I heard him on an interview today, and he's saying what they are really trying to do is push this to the Supreme Court to see, okay, what rights do we have as a state? Because the government's not doing anything about this order or the border. They're letting these people just cross by the thousands. And I pulled up, let's see, from October 1 to, let's say, now, okay, these are total encounters at the border. Okay, this isn't just Texas or anything like that. For fiscal year 23, last year, from October of 22 to October of 23, we're talking fiscal year. Hey, what's up, Sonny? Doing all right, man. How are you guys? Look away. But fiscal year of 23, there were 2,063,692 encounters. And I'll share this real quick so you guys can see. This is actually from the Customs and Border Protection website. Let's see. I'm still not good at sharing. But, you know, you can see headline, U.S. Customs Border Protection. But last year, fiscal year, there was 2,063,692. So far this year, since October, there's been 634,066 encounters. That's not counting the people that they didn't catch.
Right.
And if you scroll down here, this is my big concern right here. And we kind of chatted about it a little bit. This is my concern here. Okay. This is terrorist screening data set encounters, right? These are people that are suspected of being terrorists, because it's not just people from Central and South America coming up through the border. There's Chinese, there's Indian, there's Muslim, or I'm not trying to point out, these are bad people, but Muslims, there's all sorts of people coming across the border. Now, for terrorist screening data set encounters, fiscal year of 24 on the northern border. Okay, northern border. This is Office of Field Operations at land border ports of entry of all nationalities. The southwest border was 89, or no, northern border was 89. Southwest border was 5. Okay, that was from the Office of Field Operations. The U.S. Border Patrol. The southwest border was 49. Northern border was 1. Again, these are the people that have been caught for this year. Last year, 169 at the southwest border, 3 at the northern border for the Border Patrol. The northern border last year for the Office of Field Operations was 484 and 80 at the southwest border. So they're coming from both sides.
Right. It's
right.
dangerous.
Absolutely it is. There's one video I saw, the guy's like, you don't know who I am, but soon you will. The one they caught. How many of these people are being sent back, but they're coming back.
Right.
I mean, they have a recidivism. Where'd it go? Yeah, I don't know. They didn't see it. Currency, agriculture. Yeah, I don't know where I saw it at. But anyway, a lot of these people are coming back. And the thing is people are saying, oh, they're catching them, but how many people are they losing? Is my question.
They're only catching like maybe a quarter of the people coming across.
Right.
Recording them anyway.
And my thing is, especially these suspected terrorists. You don't think they're smart enough to run screen? Hey, you're going to get caught, but I need you to do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm torn because I absolutely agree with what Texas is doing. And I absolutely think it's the right reason. But I also don't want them to overstep their bounds constitutionally. No, our government is not enforcing the border no matter what anybody says. Where'd it go? CNN says that the Texas National Guard is blocking the Border Patrol agents. No, they are not. They are not. They're allowing them access. If they need access, they will allow them access. So, but, one side of the media is spinning it, trying to make this whole thing look like, this is going to ramp up to civil war. Do I think it's going to go that far? No.
No.
I absolutely don't. And that's the last thing any of these guys want. The Border Patrol or the Texas National Guard. It's the last thing any of these guys want. And a lot of these Border Patrol guys agree with what Texas is doing because the Border Patrol is not being allowed to do their jobs. How much have they been demonized in the last few years? The guy takes a picture of them. Oh, they're whipping them with horse whips and all that. When it's not. It's all being spun. Understand what you're looking at. Do your own research. It absolutely is. And so it's a bad look for an election year. Yes, I agree, man. So try to understand and look at the big picture, guys. That's the biggest thing I could ever say for anything. Look at the big picture.
Do your own research.
There's rumor out there saying, and I will say that the federal government has the absolute right to activate the National Guard troops. So again, are we looking at the Bubba effect? Are these guys going to say, no, I'm not going to follow that order? When the state is ordering them? to do one thing, the federal government is ordering them to do another thing. So, what are these guys going to do? First and foremost, they have an oath to uphold the Constitution. So that question needs to be answered.
Right. Yeah. And what do you do when your superiors in the United States government have abdicated their oath
Yeah.
To support the Constitution? Honestly, and this might get me in trouble, but I'm going to say it anyway. I truly feel that everyone in our administration who is choosing to leave our borders open to terrorists should be tried for treason, because they are traitors to the American people, because these people are going to come kill us.
Yeah.
These terrorists are. And every terrorist act that comes from somebody who slipped across our border, the people in our government who have decided to allow this are accomplices, direct accomplices.
I would agree.
They might as well have pulled the trigger themselves.
Yeah, I would agree. What was it you were saying, the article you had up, the FBI guy?
Ex-FBI official, what is his name? Chris Swecker told Fox News on Monday that this is the greatest security risk in our lifetime.
Yeah. And the thing I keep looking at is, and we were talking earlier backstage, what I'm looking at is sure. I mean, it's not that many or whatever, not that many possible terrorists coming across, how many terrorists did it take to take on 9/11? 19. 19. It would take 1, 2 to set off a dirty bomb.
Yeah. Or a suitcase nuke.
Yeah. I mean, does Iran not have access to nuclear weapons now?
I believe that they do.
And they are the world's largest state-sponsored terror, or whatever. I got that all mixed up, but state sponsor of terrorism. But Enzo, he said it may come down to defining an unlawful order. It's going to happen. I mean, I think that's going to come down to it. But which one's right? That's the hard question. That's what the Supreme Court needs to address. If Texas has that right, and I believe they do.
I do.
There was a letter. Go ahead.
Inalienable right to defend yourself, and Texas is defending itself.
Yeah, I know Governor Abbott's letter. He stated the U.S. Code and all that stuff. I mean, he's a lawyer, and giving them the basis. But when the Supreme Court came down and said, "Oh, you can cut it," okay, go cut it. We're still going to be putting more down. And back to Enzo's comment earlier, it's a bad look for an election year. I don't think he cares.
No.
I don't think he cares at all. I would agree, Chris. Chris said she feels like they're defending themselves and the rest of us. I would absolutely agree with that.
Absolutely.
But there's so much going on. I wanted to address this tonight and kind of chat. There's just so much. I mean, yeah, today, this is on the Epic Times. Unlawful orders as determined by a competent legal counsel and not what some outhouse lawyer behind a keyboard says will not be followed. I don't know what that was addressed to. That was just a part of the headline. But it says the Border Patrol Union Post defiant message says agents have no issue with Texas's border stance. So it sounds like the agents are on the side of Texas.
That should be telling right there.
I would agree. I mean,
They're tired of not being able to do their job.
yeah, it says, quote, rank and file Border Patrol agents appreciate and respect what Texas has been doing to defend their state in the midst of this catastrophe that the Biden administration has unleashed on America, the NBPC stated. We want to be perfectly clear. There's no fight between rank and file Border Patrol agents and Texas National Guard, Governor Abbott, or Texas Department of Public Safety. So, I mean, yeah, it's just there's no quarrel between the Border Patrol and the Texas National Guard.
Right.
To
They're
me, it
perfectly
sounds
willing to work together.
right. To me, it sounds like if push came to shove, the Border Patrol would stand down and actually support the National Guard. That's what it sounds like to me. But I think we're going to see a lot of men and women standing on honor. You know, they're going to stand by their convictions. Alicia says the mainstream media keeps saying that these people coming across are families, but 90% of the videos show they have 75% or more individual males. Yeah, there's a lot of military age young men coming across. I think it's highly possible, and Mark was kind of talking about it earlier backstage. I think it's highly possible we could see an October 7th attack, or 8th, was it 8th, 7th or 8th attack like Israel got.
October 7th.
Yeah. I can see it. I can see it happen. Because you're telling me all these gang members and things come, the MS-13, they're making more money hauling illegals across the border
And
than they are
drugs.
from the drug trade. Plus, we have the fentanyl crisis, which that's coming from China. I can see all of these groups coming together. Absolutely. You're right, Enzo. So a lot of them are not from Central or South America. And I don't have a problem with people asking for asylum or
No, absolutely no
even
problem with that.
immigrating here. I don't have any issue with those people immigrating here. I have none. But do it the right way. Do it the way that the law states. But therein lies the problem. Our government is not enforcing the law.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But if you look, did you see last week what the Biden administration came out and said, or came out and did?
Well, they've done a lot of dumb things.
About stopping the shipment of liquid natural gas.
How about stopping the shipment of fentanyl?
I would agree, but they shut down Florida and Texas. They shut down the ports to prevent them from shipping natural gas overseas. So one, to me, it's more of a minor issue, but you're affecting the people that are buying from us. Two, Florida supports Texas in this. Florida is actually sending National Guard troops.
So they're punishing Florida and Texas,
right,
by punishing the people economically.
Right. So
well,
again,
it's just like they've weaponized the FBI.
Right. And the DOJ and all that stuff. But so again, I ask, are we starting to see the Bubba effect happen? I think we are.
I
do. Because people are tired of it. And we have the convoy that's headed to, I want to say, well, down there, they're headed, the trucker convoy is heading down there. Yuma, Arizona, and somewhere in Southern California, all to the border in support of Texas. Now I'm seeing these guys demonize, severe, extreme right wing. No, how about we take labels off people and just say people are getting tired of this. People are tired of this crap. Even you know, and I'm trying to walk the fine line of both sides. Probably not doing very good, but people in democratic cities are tired of this because now they're being affected. Do you realize that a lot of these immigrants, quote unquote, are able to go to the airport, no ID, no destination in mind, breeze through security, don't even go through security and fly anywhere they want to fly on a US government's dollar?
Right?
How
I'm even
asinine is
seeing
that?
stuff on the New York Times
Hmm?
speaking out about this stuff. Um, that should be telling right there. If the New York Times doesn't necessarily agree with it, then it's a whole lot worse than they're saying.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, that's nothing we haven't really said. I'm sitting here looking. December 20th, that was kind of before all this fired up. But Border Patrol officers reassigned to other areas, leaving gaps in securing border, top Republican says. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Alicia. It is our dollar. I mean, this makes me mad, but all we can do is voice support for whomever you decide to support. I think generally most of the people that listen to this show line up kind of on our side, in all honesty. Maybe not. I don't know. And it doesn't matter.
And that's
Because,
fine because everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
yeah, and they are. Um, but that's the biggest thing I want to look at is what is going to happen out of this. And I think, the general, okay, the best outcome is this goes to the Supreme Court. Let the court decide. Um, Worst outcome, I don't know. I'm not going to say civil war. And for these people that I see online commenting, hey, let's do it. It's time for it to happen. All that. You don't want that.
No.
You don't want that. Trust me, you don't want that.
What kills me is that most of the people I see going, "Oh, let's have a civil war,"
Yeah.
are the ones that don't have guns.
Right.
Okay, so how's that going to work out for you? You going to come out with your kitchen knives and attack my house?
Right.
It's probably not going to be end well.
Well, to put things in perspective, what was it? Off the top of my head, something like 200,000 American troops died in World War II. Something around 100,000, without looking it up. I mean, I'm not. Something around 100,000 died in World War One. Take a guess on how many died in the Civil War.
Well over 1 million.
600,000. Our population was probably half of what it was by the time World War II came about. Think about that. That's Civil War. A lot of people are saying, well, this isn't going to be a civil war. It's going to be a revolution. I'm for a peaceful revolution. And could this be the start of one? Absolutely, it could be. And I hope that's the case because everybody agrees that a lot needs to change. Your ideas on what needs to change will differ depending on where you line up, I guess.
Yeah.
But everybody agrees something needs to change. Now, we all just need to come to an agreement on what we need to change, and it's up to us. And that's where the Convention of the States comes in.
Exactly. Because we can get rid of all these people who have been in office longer than some of us have been alive and get people in there who want to do right by the American people instead of, padding their own pockets.
Right.
Because it's crime. I mean, it's organized crime.
Yeah,
right
it is. Sonny, you make a good point. He said he didn't think there was a such thing as a peaceful revolution. I think in general, I mean, if you look at like Martin Luther King, yeah, there was some violence. I mean, obviously he wound up assassinated. But that was, in my opinion, a revolution, and mostly peaceful. He tried to show the right way. Be peaceful through it. That's what I'm talking about. Bring your community together. You know, find where you stand and stand. Um, but yeah, Sonny, I mean, I agree in somewhat, but most violent revolutions don't work.
No, you just get
I
somebody
mean,
worse.
our American, the the Revolutionary War for us wasn't the norm. So that's what I mean by saying peaceful revolution. Do it in love, not hate for the other side or hate for the government. I mean, it could be argued I don't have a lot of love for our government because they're corrupt. I tend to believe most are evil and they're there for themselves, not the American people. Like I said, that's what I think. That's what I mean by peaceful revolution is go out there in love. Because if you're not attacking people and you get attacked, who's the bad guy?
All right.
You know what I mean? Let's see. Let me get blanked out here for a second. I just saw somebody. Yeah, Tim, you're right. The problem is going to be it's going to get worse before it gets better. Yes, it absolutely will. Absolutely will. I agree. Um, I think a lot of people, and I'm not trying to generalize. I guess with our mindset, has felt something coming for a long time. Really have. The people that pay attention to the world and not live with blinders are like, man, something's coming. I don't know what, and I've said it many times. I don't know what's coming, but something's coming. Could this
Yeah,
be it? Quite possibly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we need to go back to the original intentions of the founding fathers, offices held by the people, and I mean like you and me, regular Joes. Yeah, and then when you're
Yep.
done with your office, you go back and work with you go back and live with the laws that you created,
Not above them.
not above them. You don't get a retirement, you don't get a pension.
You go back to your law office or your doctor's practice or your
Right.
storefront and go back to work and
Yeah.
be productive.
Right, and I think not in some guy's pocket. Then you turn right over to the bureaucracy and start trying to line your pockets that way.
And
What
that's
was it?
part of the problem is even if we do get a convention of the states, it's not going to get the bureaucrats that are half the problem
Right.
out. They're pretty entrenched.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a festering sore, man. I mean, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And now, if you watch, I mean, have you been paying attention to what's going on with the World Economic Forum?
That is something I've been paying more attention to that than I have the Texas thing because sometimes I just have to look away before I do need Enzo to come and get the defibrillator out. I mean,
But their big push now, they're scared to death, man. I mean, common sense seems to be starting to win. I think the last show I was talking about how a lot of these government entities and stock or Wall Street types are trying to push to sell the air over your land. Do you remember? Was I talking about that?
yeah.
As like a carbon offset type crap that failed. Enough people called in. It's like, no, I don't want nothing to do with this. That fell on its face, and that's awesome. Yeah,
Enzo's ready to give me a shock.
but yeah, that fell on its face, and that's awesome. But the thing is, you got to remain vigilant because they're going to try to come back in another way. Probably the same thing, but they're going to try to do it
They're going to
more
dress it up.
behind closed doors. They're going to dress it up. I mean, look at the Green New Deal. It's not anything about a Green New Deal.
It's about putting you in your place.
Right. And that's a big thing is, the elites we're nothing to them. The common people are nothing to them. And the big thing with the World Economic Forum, if you haven't been paying attention, is restoring trust. Not for us to trust them, but to basically control the information to where we can be programmed as the common people.
Right. They want us to be serfs again.
Exactly what they want. They want to dictate to us what we can eat, what we can drive. I mean, look at the push for EVs. EVs are falling on their face right now especially because of this last winter storm. How many were stranded? I thought it was great.
Yeah. And
I felt bad for the people.
they couldn't charge their cars because the batteries didn't do well in the cold.
Right. So there's another link. I mean, all the truth is coming to light. If you really sit and pay attention, everything is starting to come to light. All this whole stupid agenda and all that. Yeah, Enzo. They need a vocabulary lesson. Let's start with no. Right.
Yeah, I like it.
And the elites, the powers that be, are running scared. And I think it's awesome. We have to keep the pressure on. We have to keep speaking out. We have to keep using our voices because they're trying to take our voice.
Yeah.
If you really watch the internet,
enough people are starting to wake up.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, they'll go back into hiding like they always do and try to come at it another way. But I'm happy to see the people waking up. And I'm happy to see that there's a common ground people can fight for together.
I have seen a lot of people coming together in the middle where they belong.
Right. And I would agree with that. I mean, I read comments on all sorts of news articles and all that. And there's people out there on both sides
that are awful,
that are spewing hate and vulgar and all that. But in general, most people are learning to have a cordial conversation that if you can watch. You're right, Enzo. They can only listen to blatant lies for so long. I would absolutely agree with that.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a great thing because we're Americans, man. We may not always agree, but we're Americans. And people don't understand what that means anymore.
No, America used to mean anything that came from America should be a superlative. I mean, we had the best schools, we had the best doctors, we had the best scientists. And now we can't count to 5 without a calculator.
Right. And I seen a video the other day, and you've heard it, I'm sure. I think it was probably an older video, but it was this person saying it was racist to say 2 + 2 = 4.
Oh, I remember that. That was ridiculous.
And I actually saw the video for the first time. Yeah. Like, what the heck?
Enzo's got it.
Yeah. And it started to become the norm that people don't believe what the mainstream media says anymore. Right. And that's why the elites are running scared, because they control the mainstream. They can't control people like us right now. I'll say that right now. They're trying.
Oh, yeah. They're going to try to silence us at some point.
Yeah. And we're just small fish. I mean, they're going after Joe Rogan and Glenn Beck's and all that. They're going to all these big names. I mean, we're just little peons. We're nothing. All the credibility I have is on my collar. And I try to be honest with you guys. We don't have a huge following. However, we are like number 56, ranked number 56 in Greece.
Because we're awesome.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to say that the people in Greece have exquisite taste.
Right. But yeah, we're nothing. I mean, it wouldn't be nothing to shut us down.
No, take 5 seconds.
Yeah. And honestly, it wouldn't hurt us financially.
No. It actually helped me financially because
right, I know it.
Both of us are spending money. You're spending more money than me, so you
You know, but I mean, this is fun. This is a fun hobby. But sure, I would love for it to turn into something bigger. I really would. I love doing this. It's so much fun. It's great. Um,
I've met so many cool people
yeah, yeah, it's awesome.
from around the world.
Yeah, yeah. I'm surprised Sylvian's not on tonight. He's usually on.
We need to tell our boss that we're a big deal in Greece. He should.
Right. He'll probably say something derogatory about Greece. He's English, so
Well,
he is an American now, though. He did get his citizenship, so
I know his taste in food's probably improved.
well, probably.
Probably. Oh, just kidding. He is one great guy. I gotta love the guy, and he takes the crap so well.
He does.
So,
But yeah, I mean, so again, I ask. I mean, what are your thoughts? Are we seeing the start of the Bubba effect? I mean, like I said, I think we are.
yeah, I think we're seeing it, or the beginnings of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the people have had enough. The states have definitely had enough. At least half the states. I mean, that's what's crazy is there's 25 states right
Plus
down the middle.
Texas.
Right.
That makes it a majority.
Yeah. So, what is it? 30 states have to sign on to the Convention of the States.
Yes.
So, with that being said, it shouldn't be hard.
No,
I mean,
it
shouldn't.
really shouldn't.
Shouldn't. Now, however, like our state Congress, we have too many guys that don't have the guts to go through with anything. They're scared it's going to hurt their power. They're state representatives. How much power do they have? You know what I mean?
No game. They got no game.
No, they're gutless. And I really go so far as to say even our federal congressmen are gutless.
They just want to keep riding the money train.
Right.
I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again.
Oh, okay.
You cannot become a multimillionaire on $175,000 a year in a city that costs that much to live.
Right. I'm a firm believer that wherever your congressman is from, they should get paid the average wage for the area that they come from.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. And honestly, I don't have an issue with even the state renting them apartments or something like that. You do your business. You do what you're elected to do. We'll foot the bill for the apartment, your utilities, all that.
Your office staff.
Right. We'll foot that bill because that's our responsibility. We voted you in office.
That's the
We want
cost of
you there
doing business.
Right. But this is the only wage you're getting. 40,000 or whatever it is, whatever the average wage is for a Kansan or for a Texan or for a Californian or
Or an
whatever.
Alaskan or whatever.
Right. And then when you're out of Congress, you go back to work. You don't get this pension.
Or the super executive health care that nobody but the Trumps and the Clintons could afford.
Yeah. Enzo, I would agree. I mean, he says he's really disappointed with Kansas lately. He says he's considered moving. He didn't know where to go though.
The
That's
pendulum
tough
swing the
because-
other way soon.
Yeah. I mean, Oklahoma's pretty decent, I guess. My wife
have casinos.
Say that. They do.
They do.
And Bigfoot.
Oh, we have Bigfoot and Dogman.
Yeah.
That's another show.
Yeah. Let's just said she would that would de-incentivize a lot of people. Also kick back. Yeah, they should be. And you shouldn't be able to go work for a bureaucrat or whatever. You shouldn't.
They shouldn't become multimillionaires
No.
in public office.
And Enzo says they should get the same government VA healthcare. Yep. 100%.
Yes.
They should have to live in the means and the laws that they provide or they force upon us.
Nope. They get the golden parachute deals and
Yep.
kickbacks from lobbyists, money laundering in the Ukraine,
Right. I
insider
heard today.
training.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Enzo, Oklahoma recently changed their laws where they don't charge state tax on military retirement pay. They're on my list now. Yeah. Heck yeah.
There you go.
Plus, you got Tinker down there, so you have access to that and all that.
I've only got to move 600 yards.
Right. I got to move a few more miles. My wife, I better not say that. I don't know if she's listening, but but she's been on me about moving down to Oklahoma because that's where she's from. But
I knew something was wrong.
yeah,
she is going
Love
to
you,
kick
babe.
my ass, and I'll deserve it. Or she'll just tell Chris to kick my ass.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What were you saying, Mark?
I'm going to get my butt kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
But yeah, I mean, that's what irritates me, is these guys are making money hand over fist, doling out special favors to donors and all that crap. They don't truly represent the American people anymore.
Nope. They represent their pocketbook.
Heck yeah, man. Come on, Sonny. Yeah,
Barbecue
Sonny
at
said,
my
"Keep me
house."
up on the way, and I'll move to Oklahoma with you if I don't want to live there so bad." That's where his family came from. Yeah, see, you're an Okie at heart, man.
They got houses for sale in Copan, Oklahoma right now, buddy.
Yep.
Get on it.
That's the problem, man, is nobody is listening. We don't have any true representation.
Not really. There's a few who have tried.
And I would agree.
And the longer they're in the office, the less hard they try. Because unfortunately, that is the nature of the beast that is Washington, D.C.
They lose their souls.
Yep. They will corrupt a good man faster than anything else.
Yeah. But, I mean, the old saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. That fits it to a T. I mean, you get in that cesspool around all those people, you're going to start acting like those people.
When you start swimming with turds, you're going to become one.
Exactly. I mean, what do you tell your kids? They're hanging out with somebody you don't like. What do you tell them?
Yep.
No. Because they're going to influence you. You're going to start acting like them. And if you let your kids hang around people like that, you're going to start seeing them act like it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, Chris. She says her mom says if you aren't corrupt when you go in, you are by the time you're out. Yep.
Yep. I mean, I honestly, you have free choice, but I honestly understand if that's all I hung around with, that would become normal to me. And pretty soon I would start acting like that because that's what humans do. So if you create a hive of scum and villainy, to quote Obi-Wan Kenobi, you start getting nothing but scum and villains.
Right. Really right. But here's a crazy, I don't know if it'd be really a statistic or not, but something I heard today. I was watching. This generation coming up, I don't know if it's Z or A. Well, I don't know what it is. Whatever this generation is coming up.
Bubblegum, I don't know.
Yeah. This is kind of odd. All right. But this generation coming up, more of the males are more conservative, are like super conservative.
Pendulum's going to swing.
Yep. Whereas the females are moving more liberal.
So the birth rate's going to go way down.
That's what it sounds like to me.
I foresee a problem with this.
Yeah. Y'all, I hope you get your spiritual life in order. I really do. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. And I pray to God that Elon's working on sex bots.
Well, while I was doing my research tonight, I saw that the FDA uh, approved a home insemination kit.
Oh, jeez. Whatever happened to the old-fashioned way? You know what I
Well,
mean?
apparently it involves human interaction without computers or phones. So, I mean,
Right.
that's yeah.
Yeah. That's the big problem is nobody wants to. I'm like, this is me being super antisocial because I am. I'm not a very social person at all. I'm not a people person. But yeah, I mean, gosh,
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out a way to be able to do that through
right?
social media. So
Yeah. Enzo, he's absolutely right. Traditionally, insemination kits were in the back seat of your car. Yep.
after prom, yeah.
Yeah, we're just old school, Enzo, I guess.
Oh geez. We're going downhill fast, buddy.
Yep.
I told you today I was gonna burn in hell.
Yeah. No, y'all. I mean, I seriously want to ask you that question. I mean, ask yourself and think about it. I mean, are we starting to see this? Are we starting to see the Bubba effect? Are we going down a road that we don't want to go? Right now, I don't think we are. I'm watching it. Absolutely, I'm watching it. In this aspect, like the whole Civil War or revolution aspect,
I
I
think the
don't think we
American
are.
people are smarter than that. With
I hope.
the with the exception of a few.
The chat's off the rails.
Of course it is. It's our chat.
Yeah. But yeah.
Chicken Bow Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think we are at this point. I don't think we're at that point. But I think we're starting to see it, the Bubba effect.
I think you're right.
Because people are tired of it. There's not a day that goes by that doesn't feel like you're being beat over the head.
Yeah.
If you really pay attention to this space, it feels like you're being beat over the head.
Yeah. Like I
Because
said, there's weeks where I can't even turn on Facebook
right,
because I can't stand to look at this stuff anymore.
right,
I get so freaked out.
right. I mean, I think we come out the other side stronger.
I would
I
like to
think
hope so.
more aware. You know what I mean? Because the number of people that are waking up and paying attention, people's minds are changing. And I can see it. I see it on social media. I see it like on YouTube and things like that. Could it be the algorithm? Absolutely. I'm not going to deny that.
We're going to steal their term. This is our great reset.
Yeah, I think it is.
That's what I mean.
Yes. Yes, Enzo. Absolutely. As Mark said, the pendulum was so far into crazy that there's no other option that it swings back the other way. It's not even left versus right thing anymore. It's crazy versus saying yes.
Absolutely.
And again, I mean, like I've said many times, I think this is the epitome of a battle of good versus evil. I really do. I think we're being driven by more spiritual forces than anything because the powers that be want to be kings.
Yeah, they don't want to be representatives. They don't want to be legislators. They want to be king or emperor.
Right. And I think a lot of this administration is going along with this agenda that's being pushed by the World Economic Forum.
Because there's money in it for them.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
getting money for this.
Oh, yeah.
Don't make any mistake. Money is changing hands.
Absolutely. Well, I heard today over in Ukraine, there's like something like 20 billion that's missing that is unaccounted for.
That we know of.
Yeah. And our administration is asking for more money.
Well, yeah, because they're the ones getting it.
Right. They're wanting to tie, because I mean, if you're watching Congress and all that, they're now pushing for a bill on the border to allow like 5,000 illegals through every day. And no, shut it down. The president's like, well, I can't shut it down because I'm waiting on a bill from Congress. You know what?
The
It
laws
was
have already
working.
been passed, dude.
Right. It was working before you took office. We had it shut down. Sure, there were some making it across. I'm not going to deny that.
There's
But
always
nothing
going to
near.
be.
Yeah. It wasn't bleeding. It wasn't hemorrhaging like it is now. It was, but day one, he rescinded the executive order from President Trump that had all this shut down. Wait on the other side of the border.
We are getting a good sized city full of migrants daily.
Yeah.
We're getting more people than live in our county some days.
The
on a daily
statistic I
basis.
heard, there was a statistic I heard today. The number of illegals that have crossed in the last 3 years since Biden took office, if you put them all in one state, it would be the 6th largest state in the nation.
That's telling right there.
Yeah. Chris, just how many executive orders has he made? Can he not do that now? He absolutely can do that now, but he's not going to because he don't want to.
No. He's made lots of executive orders, just not good ones.
Right. Right. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at. I like I said, I think we are starting to see the Bubba effect, but it's being state ran right now. We'll see where it goes. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Mark and I have already talked about the next What If Tomorrow show. It's going to be just kind of a fun show. We're going to kind of share our favorite preparedness items.
I'm going to have a pile in here.
But I mean, I think it'd be a nice relief for what we've been hitting on the last several months. Just kind of share with us, share with you guys what we have. I mean, that way you can see that we are practicing what we preach. We're working it. Hey, if you want to watch, go to my wife and I's YouTube channel, the Night Acres. Yesterday, she put up a video of actually estimating a pig's weight because we're getting ready to take our first pig to the butcher. We got some other stuff going. Don't forget Border Town Strange Wednesday night.
Yep. For those of you who are fans of our friend show,
7
Border
p.m.
Town
Central
Strange.
Wednesday. Yeah. Jess and Pam. I mean, we'll be there hanging out, launch party. I think Enzo will be there. I don't know who all's going to be there, but
all
I
the
think
cool
Amuck,
kids.
I think Amuck will be there. I mean, everybody's going to be there. It's going to be a good time. So it's going to be awesome. Then on the Fringe next week, Christy Campbell, paranormal
Woo-hoo!
medium, psychic healer. Awesome person. She was supposed to be on last week. She was under the weather. I hope she's feeling better now. And hopefully she's feeling better when she comes in Monday. So look forward to that too. It'll be great.
She saw my
Big
face.
Willie's going to be there. Yeah. Big Willie's going to be there next week. Awesome.
Nice.
So I haven't talked to that guy in a long time. I have to rub in that Detroit lost. No, probably not.
He knows.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows.
He was making comments on Facebook yesterday. So, Yep. Awesome, man. Yeah, that's kind of about all I've got, man. I don't have much more.
Man, that's about all I've got. Although I am going to say one thing, since this is our preparedness show. Do watch the price of precious metals. I've noticed that the price of silver is still quite excellent. So, in case we have something going, invest in something besides, the World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
Do something for yourself. And they make nice gifts.
Yep.
Just going to throw that out there. And pay cash.
Definitely.
Use cash.
Definitely pay cash. Yeah, I don't really have much else, man.
No, I don't.
Kind of tapped out here.
Hopefully I haven't got us all in trouble with the government. The FBI will be knocking on my door. Hey guys, if you are listening, I really need a pepperoni pizza. I'll buy yours if you'll bring it.
Right.
Knock, knock, knock. We ordered 42 pizzas, sir.
Heck yeah, it counts, Enzo. The silver mine. Are you?
You're not taking
or?
me? Dang it, Enzo.
All right, guys. Yeah, I don't have anything else. Mark, if you don't,
I am good.
Yes, in the chat. Thanks so much for hanging out. It was good chatting with some of you, with everybody, but some of the guys I haven't seen in a while. Really great seeing you guys.
Enzo didn't have to come deliver electroshock to my heart either.
Right. I mean, you made it through, Mark. I'm
I
proud of
made
you,
it
buddy.
through without having a stroke or coronary.
But yeah, everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next episode.
Good night, folks.